Shalom. Okay, talk a little bit about Eretz Yisrael. The Talmud tells us that Rabbi Zera, when he was in Chutz La'aretz, he had made a halachic decision, and when we came to Eretz Yisrael, when he made Aliyah, so he changed his halachic opinion on a certain matter, right? He decided in Chutz La'aretz one way, and in Eretz Yisrael he changed the halacha. People didn't understand, why is he changing the halacha now that he comes to Eretz Yisrael? And Rabbi Zera explained himself that he had now changed his mind as to what the proper halacha was based on the fact that Avira de Eretz Yisrael machkim. Right? He said because now that he came to Eretz Yisrael, he is breathing the air of Eretz Yisrael, and it's a simple fact, he explains, the air of Eretz Yisrael machkim. It makes you smarter, and therefore he had noticed that he had erred. He had made a mistake when he was in Chutz La'aretz and was able to correct it upon arrival to the Holy Lands. The Rambam, we know, is generally referred to as a rationalist. He's not like a Hasidic personality that's jumping around and nothing wrong with Chassidut. I love Chassidut, but he's known as someone who was very level-headed. He was a doctor. He was, and still, when we read the Mishnah Torah and we see how the Rambam talks about Eretz Yisrael, it sounds like he's a Chassid, right? He tells us that the Gdolei HaChachamim, that the greatest scholars, when they would get to Eretz Yisrael, what would they do? Right? When they would cross over the borders of Eretz Yisrael, they would kiss the ground of Eretz Yisrael. Pretty phenomenal, right? And that means that if, we get off the plane in Eretz Yisrael and we kiss the ground, so that's founded, that's based on something. It's not a silly thing to do. It's similar to kissing the mezuzah, right? We want to kiss something that's holy, and that's why we do it, right? To show our love, to show our affection, right? He continues to tell us not only when they reached the borders and entered Eretz Yisrael, but these Gdolei HaChachamim would walk around Eretz Yisrael and kiss the stones of Eretz Yisrael. Just randomly go and kiss the stones of Eretz Yisrael because of their inherent kedusha that they had. And even to take it a step further, he would say that what? Over here, the Rambam in Hilchos Malachim, Perek Hey, Halacha Yud, he says that they would, these Gedolei HaChachamim, we're not talking about simpletons. What would they do? They would roll around in the dirt of Eretz Yisrael. Roll around to be one with the land. Can you imagine the biggest, greatest Torah scholars? Okay, the Gdolei Hador, what do? They're rolling around in the dirt looking like little children. It looks like such a juvenile act, but not at all. A very holy act to become one with the land. And to keep it in proportion over here, the kissing, the rolling around, there's obviously supposed to be a romance between Bnei Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael. They're supposed to be just like we have discussed in many Sifrei Musar. The Orchos Tzadikim talks about it, how our relationship, right, Shlomo HaMelech and Shir HaShirim, right, our relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu is supposed to be a romantic relationship, right? It's a love story. So too, Bnei Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael, there's that love, there's the kissing, there's the wanting to be one with the land, and we should not take this lightly. Abaye, in the Gemara Masechet Ketubot, what did he say? He said that, and this Gemara, the truth is it can be interpreted in many different ways, but one way to interpret this Gemara, okay, is that Abaye says, Chad minehu adif kitrei minan. What does that mean? It means that one fellow in Eretz Yisrael has the value of more than two fellows who live in Chutz La'aretz. That's what he says. And after that comes Rava. And Rava does not disagree with Abaye, but Rava takes it one step further. Rava says that what? One fellow who makes Aliyah from Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael is worth more than two fellows who live in Eretz Yisrael. And if we hold that Abaye and Rava are not disagreeing with each other, right? They would be in agreement, which is quite likely based on how the Gemara is written up. That means that the Gemara is telling us that someone who makes Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael, okay, if we do the math, right, 2 times 2 is 4, so he has the value of more than 4 people who live in Chutz La'aretz, which is quite a remarkable statement. Okay, I made Aliyah, I'm going to try not to let it get to my head, but it sounds like Abaye and Rabba would be pretty impressed with me. Okay, really I'm only here because of my wife, but thank God she brought me here. It's the place to be. let's see. What else can we tell you here? We can tell you that even halachically, right, even brought in the Shulchan Aruch, right, quoted from the Talmud, we have a halacha that if a man, right, the husband says that he wants to make Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael, and the wife, let's say she wants to stay in France, okay? So then what happens, right? The husband is persistent, he's going to Israel, and the wife says, no, I'm staying in Chutz La'aretz, I'm staying in France. So according to the halacha, this is in the Shulchan Aruch, black on white, what happens? The husband can move to Eretz Yisrael, and he does not have to pay his ex-wife, right after he divorces her, if she stays in Chutz La'aretz, he does not have to pay her the ketubah money. Okay, and vice versa. Says the Shulchan Aruch, let's say the lady, she wants to make Aliyah from Teaneck, but the husband wants to stay in Teaneck. He likes that strip of restaurants there with the Dougies, and I forget all the different names. There's some good stuff over there. So he decides that he wants to stay in Teaneck, and she wants to make Aliyah. So the halacha is that he has to, he's forced to divorce her, and he's forced to pay her the ketubah money. So we see also the Shulchan Aruch is taking very seriously the act of making Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael, and it's the best place to be. It's the best place I could tell you. I lived both lives, could not be happier here, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll all be here together, unified, strong as ever, someday very soon. B'mheira v'yameinu, amen.